guys, we're going to be reacting to Inside Cook County's jail.
Chicago's Cook County Jail is one of the largest and most notorious jails in the United States. Home to around 6,000 inmates, many of whom are heavily gang-affiliated, this is a massive correctional facility that has incarcerated some of Chicago's most infamous criminals like Al Capone, John Wayne Gacy, Larry Hoover, and King Von. Currently behind the barbed wire walls, Cook County sheriffs are battling against a serious and invisible drug epidemic called Chicago's Cook County Jail is one of the largest Currently behind the barbed wire walls, Cook County sheriffs are battling against a serious and invisible drug epidemic called paper strips. What happens is smugglers take harmless looking items like books, court documents, or family photos, and they soak them with synthetic chemicals ranging from cannabinoids to fentanyl, some of which are lethal and lead to overdose deaths. So today, Cook County Sheriff Tom Dart invites me in to show me how his team of officers fight against this problem. And we even see a raid on a high security cell block that uncovers drugs and homemade shanks. So join us now, but first a quick word from the sponsor of today's episode. All right, folks, I'm sitting at the airport about to board a flight, and I got some time on my hands, and I'm always looking for. We're at Chicago's notorious Cook County Jail, and we're going to be looking into their drug epidemic with the strips, the paper strips, and this is an extremely notorious Chicago jail. I mean, just where we are right now, this neighborhood is hotly contested Little Village territory where we have the Two Sixers, the Latin Canes, Satan Disciples, Maniac Disciples, and all sorts of gangs just all.
Tommy knows all about it. Tommy knows all about it. Tommy G, been around.
All over the place right here. When they lock them up here, the guards have to figure out a way to keep it safe, which is a logistical challenge. This is a place I'm very excited to learn about. We'll bring you in just a moment. All right, back in the paddy wagon again. I can't imagine spending any amount of time in a place like this. To do anything that frequently puts you back behind these walls, to me, is kind of a mind-blowing loop to be stuck on for a human. But I also think it has so much to do with neighborhood, culture, and structure, and influences. That's one thing that if you want to change America from the ground up, we gotta increase fatherhood, we gotta make reading and learning cool, we gotta make cleaning up litter and taking care of the environment cool. Who are we with right now?
Tom Dart, Sheriff of Cook County. Tommy, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. And you're going to be taking us on a tour?
Yeah, we're going to go into Division 6, which is one of the, about like 15 different divisions that we have right now here at Cook County.
And do you know how many officers you have on staff at a given time?
Oh, a little under 3,000 correctional officers.
Videos 10% inside the jail, 90% Suzy Q.
Correctional deputies, period, and run 3 different shifts, and depending on the population a little bit, it goes up and down a little bit.
So this paper strip drug epidemic has been a big challenge.
Yeah, you know, Tommy, the whole opioid epidemic that hit us about 5 or 6 years ago in this country hit everybody and hit every aspect of society pretty hard, so it was not unusual for it to appear here.
Are conjugal visits allowed here?
No. In visitations in jail, traditionally they occur behind bulletproof glass with little screens to yell through. We've allowed to where people are sitting at tables. Not only we encourage the kids to hug their dad when they get there.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Done eating. Sorry.
Right to your right, sir.
So we're going to the basement of Cook County, and apparently it's like a tunnel system under here. It's easy to get lost. This is a behemoth of a building. I mean, to house 6,000 inmates at a time and up to 9,000, just the infrastructure that needs to happen is considerable. You have to remember, a lot of jails are kind of like paramilitary organizations. They have a hierarchy in the guards, and there's a certain way you can walk and talk, and it's almost like boot camp for criminals, bad guys. So which unit are we in right now?
We're in Division 6 down in the basement, and we're heading to the mail room.
And this is known as kind of medium security area?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hey, bud. Good seeing you.
Side note, you guys ever just get random scratches, like on your leg? Like, the shit hurts, and I haven't even been scratching it. Like, what the fuck's that about?
So this is seized paper strips.
Yes. Yeah, that was one of the major problems, was 2 things. One, a lot of the stuff we were getting wasn't traditional narcotics. And so a lot of testing didn't show much, because originally when this first hit us, they were using stuff like rat poison. They were using...
People were smoking rat poison?
Oh yeah.
Not only is the substance easy to smuggle, but it's a Russian roulette of a drug because it's almost impossible to know what you are smoking. For example, there are reports of this paper drug being delivered coated in toxic compounds like roach spray and rat poison. Now folks, the most common chemical application on the strips is synthetic weed, which is also known as K2 or spice, which as a high school kid in Illinois in the early 2010s, I experienced this stuff firsthand. It is an incredibly intense high that sometimes resulted in me having to lay down and basically hallucinate for the first 10 or 15 minutes of the experience. And this is just another dangerous aspect of the strips because it can leave the intoxicated inmate incredibly vulnerable to being attacked, or in the case of what's happening in Georgia state prisons, tied up to be extorted for money. And so now Cook County sheriffs face a tough catch-22. They can either continue to allow physical paper documents through the mailroom, which civil rights advocates would say is a protected First Amendment right, or like other jails and prisons, they can completely ban mail altogether and force inmates to receive digital copies of communication.
So none of those things would
get it
hit
in
if,
one way or another, whether it's a guard or the mail or the visitor. You know, people in jail, they're, you know, I mean, they're dumb for going there, but, you know, they're not all that dumb.
if you test them, because they aren't illegal substances. We test enough of it just to know what it is people are trying to sneak in these days. And it's now...
Criminal will always be a criminal. They'll find a way.
like different variations of cannabinoids that they're doing that keeps changing. We put so much time and energy into this thing, buying machines, you know, not just dog sniffing, because none of the traditional stuff worked. We added all this stuff, but then we opened up all sorts of criminal investigations of people bringing it in.
Wow, a
All this stuff, but
deputy.
then we opened up all sorts of criminal investigations.
Cook deputy charged with possession, drug-soaked paper. She don't look like a deputy, not anymore. On that picture.
Of people bringing it in.
This month, a corrections officer was accused of agreeing to smuggle in drug-soaked papers in exchange for $2,000.
Outsiders, insiders bringing in.
They snitched on that boy. They snitched on that boy real
The whole
quick.
9 yards. And in doing it, one of the times we did it, we did a search warrant, got in the house, and found all these things that this guy was using to make these compounds, and with it he had like his formula that he was doing.
Yeah,
and
this
he
is some mad scientist
absolutely
kind of job.
And he was sending it out to other people too. He'd take money for it. A sheet this size would go for at least $1,500.
While filming another story I'm working on covering the programs offered to inmates within Cook County Jail, I got to speak with some of the inmates about the strip epidemic, and here's what they had to say about it. Strip's a drug people do on the streets, or is that like a jail and prison only drug?
I think it's like a jail and prison only drugs.
No one's doing that in the streets, right?
No, nobody doing it in the streets. Because it's like, and here you really can't get what you get in the streets, so.
And what do you think motivates people to do strips?
I think some people, when they start doing strips and everything, I think some people just be bored because jail just is like a repeated thing.
And that's why programs like this are so important, because it takes some of the boredom out of jail?
Yes, sir.
What do you think motivates the guys doing the
Where
strip?
the fuck? What jail they getting pizza at? That pizza is stuffed. They got pepperoni. Looks like some onions, some red pepper, green pepper. It should look good. Even Tommy had a slice.
To do them.
Some people don't see the light. Some people feel like they never coming home. Some people have drug addictions prior to coming here, so it's a substitute.
Te puede matar en algún momento, te pone como estuvieras borracho.
Como un zombie?
Sí, te pone como un zombie.
Now we're about to be on our way to an active raid.
Are they trusting that guy? With
Como
that?
un zombie?
Sí, te pone matar en algún
What the fuck is that?
momento,
That shit like a hammer.
te pone como estuvieras borracho.
Como un zombie?
Sí, te pone como un zombie.
Now we're
Good
about to be
inmate.
on our way to an active raid happening where we go through a cell block and see if there's contraband in the unit.
Tommy's taking the pole. Tommy's finna bust some criminals.
And now we're walking through legendary doors here. Anyone that is in the streets in Chicago knows about Cook County Jail. And famous rappers have been behind bars here.
Tom, his merch
King
is
Von.
getting really better.
Jail.
It looks nice. The big dog's gotta eat.
And-
I remember when he first started. so-
Famous rappers have been behind bars here. King Von, Little Durk.
Little dirt. Plot
So we're
twist,
walking-
Tommy's sneaking in strips all this time and he's getting paid thousands of dollars. Plot twist.
So I think it's a briefing meeting for the guards before they do the search.
All right, we're going to Delta Jack, right? You guys already know with our pre-briefing, half in the front, half in the back. Everybody hits the floor. No deviation from that. Everybody hits the floor, everybody gets cuffed. When they hit the floor, make sure that you're observing, right? Make sure nobody's fiddling with anything in their waistband, trying to ditch any contraband, weapons, whatever. Cuff them. Once everybody's cuffed, a couple of you guys break off upstairs. We'll make sure the bathrooms upstairs are clear. Everybody gets assisted to their feet, escorted to the wall. Everybody gets a good pat down. They're going indoor rec. Be safe. You guys know who your partners are. Where your partner goes, you go, okay? Nobody's alone. But we gather in.
It's all the way up in their ass. Who's in charge of grabbing that? Wouldn't be me. Well, no, it wouldn't be. You gotta pay me for that.
Information through various avenues to determine who has the contraband. Which person, maybe it's not on person, maybe it's under a sink, maybe it's somewhere under a water closet, somewhere they have easy access to. But through various ways of information, that's how we get it and we narrow it down. All the information together. Like, okay, I heard it from here, we got it from here, we got it from here, it's all linking up. Then we go hit it.
All right, here we go. You always feel the excitement in the air before a raid. These officers are getting ready to launch a full-scale blitz on a maximum security unit. In order to overwhelm and quickly subdue every single inmate, they are going to sweep the pod from 2 different entry points with the goal of no inmate being able to have the time to hide.
First of all, she can search me. So she can search my butt too. If I got shit in there, she's the one to grab
Contraband or flush drugs down the toilet. Let's see how this goes down. You think the inmates know you guys are coming?
It's 50-50. We usually don't hit it this late, so it might be a good chance that they don't think we're coming. Okay.
They got everyone on the ground. The first step is securing everybody. Look, you see people peeking their heads out of their cell too. But to be an inmate and to not know when this is gonna happen, that at any moment throughout the day, they can come in, rush you, and start the search. If you're on the side of smuggling, you have to stay on your toes at all times. What are we looking at so far?
So you have a shank made out of a screw. And then here you got what we call roaches, right? We haven't opened it up yet.
That's fine.
This was laying on the ground, this was laying on the ground.
But you think that's strips?
So usually, typically, yeah, each roach will contain multiple strips.
What's this?
This is
like a
basically
baby
what it
diaper.
is cellophane that's rolled, right? And they roll it until it gets really hard. And what they'll do is they'll stick it like in a sock, they'll tie it into it, and they'll use that as a weapon. Here it's a magic shave cream, but it's filled with feces.
Really?
Yeah,
So it's a weapon, a biological weapon?
pretty much, yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what would be the other purpose of filling poop in that?
What I like to think is I feel like we've been doing pretty well recovering
lotion.
weapons, right? So this is like their last resort.
Okay, so
What brand is this?
right now behind us, one by one, every single inmate is being searched, and a search is an unpleasant experience. I mean, some of these guys are getting their shoes taken off, socks taken off, they're getting felt around their groin area, the most common smuggling areas. Another shank.
Yeah. This is a wick.
That's out of toilet paper?
I believe this is toilet paper. Yes, toilet paper. So what they do is they'll light one end of it. This is what they use to start, light up fires. Or roaches that you saw earlier, that's how they light them up.
One thing to highlight, look, so this is made out of a hailer, a medically necessary piece of equipment, but if abused can be turned into something that can stab somebody. And this is the fine line that a jail has to operate, is human freedoms, healthcare, danger. Another thing to note here is I was curious how the segregation might work, but I do see
Do you think any of them
Latinos.
recognize him? Like they know him, Tommy G? Like, wait a minute, is that Tommy G filming us?
Blacks mixed. Some jails racially segregate, some do it by gang, some do it by age, some do it by level of danger to society. But how you sort people is a recipe that can either make safety or danger depending on how you do it. A logistical question that every jail has to think about. So anyone that is wearing a green jumpsuit, it's apparently because they've either indecently exposed themselves or got caught masturbating.
We tell everyone not to search the day room, especially when there's none of these guys present. These individuals, if there's stuff hidden in the toilets, under the toilets, the main thing with that is this is priority. Clearing the tier, making sure all of them are gone. If there's a weapon or some drugs in that toilet, it's not going anywhere.
Does each guy have a bathroom in their cell too?
Yes. Yes.
So this is the community room if they're out and about. Are they allowed to have any sort of towel?
No. Another shank.
Another shank?
I knew I saw something. Looks like to be another screw. I'm sure it's just clear. This is the only division that has these where you can kind of control. Your skin's got to touch it, but see, that's a problem too. If it's not lighting with the skin, that means that it's tampered with.
And what are the implications of this being tampered with?
They could loosen these screws, which allows this to come up, exposing the wires, attempt to light fires, or just conceal contraband in there. I mean, these guys have all day, every day to figure out how to hide this stuff. So we just start from the back and just work our way this way. But every nook, every cranny has to be searched. Excess food. So I usually start with the windows, just because it's all the way on the end. They can hide stuff in there. So when we're doing this, the main thing we want to do is we don't want to mess up their stuff. We don't want to be bogus. But for us, we go picture by picture, paper by paper. These guys are ingenious. They could have 2 pieces of paper glued together with drug-soaked paper in between them, and just any quick glance, you wouldn't even notice. So this is usually a big indicator, the holes in the mattress. This guy,
There's definitely something in there.
yeah, it's something in there. So yeah, with these books, you just essentially, these might just be bookmarks, but we got to make sure that they're just bookmarks. Because in between any of these pages could potentially be, and not even just drug-soaked paper either, staples, paper clips, tattoo needles, really anything.
Do raids happen on a daily basis?
That's our whole function. I mean, we wouldn't describe them as raids. They're targeted searches or just regular tier searches. They have to be done. It all depends on the information we have, the intel we have will determine if we're gonna make a strategic entry through the front door, the back door, both, if we're just gonna hit a cell or 2, it all depends. A lot of planning goes into each one of these.
Have you seen any overdoses happen in these units?
Yes.
In 2023, Cook County Jail had 18 inmate deaths, and a third of those were due to drug overdoses, making this drug problem the single greatest cause of unnatural death in the facility.
The 50th time this year, the Cook County Sheriff's Office makes an arrest related to drug-soaked paper,
including occasionally the guards themselves.
This month, a corrections officer was accused of agreeing to smuggle in drugs.
He looks just like them now.
Soaked papers in exchange for $2,000.
Folks, because smuggling a single soaked piece of paper can be worth as much as $10,000, and because it is also very difficult to detect who the dealer is that is smuggling in the drugs, my gut tells me that the economic incentives are too high for this problem to go away anytime soon. Which would you say is more dangerous, the gang violence or the strips?
They're both just as important, right? But the paper drugs have been prevalent for the last, how long? It's really picking up steam. But the problem is that with the paper drugs, it's dangerous to not only them, but it's also dangerous to us as well. That kind of might tip the scale a little bit.
Justin Wilkes, Chief of Investigations and Intelligence.
And what's been grinding your gears lately?
Well, for the last couple of years, saturated paper inside the jail. Back in 2023, we had our first death from smoking the saturated paper, and I feel like ever since then, that's been kind of a thorn in the side of the sheriff's office.
And what is this drug?
I don't know exactly how to describe it because they're all different kinds. There's synthetic cannabinoids, synthetic opioids, synthetic hallucinogens, and so we don't really know. Each one's different. The inmates have a term they use, and when the more potent it is, they'll call the stuff death.
Did you get something over here?
Yeah.
Can you show me what that is?
Yeah, I got it in his butt. It was all the way in his butt. I got it.
wick and started these on fire.
So are they making homemade joints? Do they have a piece that they're hitting?
Yeah, they're making homemade joints.
When you guys are ready to sell, how often are you finding contraband?
We find it every single time.
Every single time? So it never stops?
Never stops, ever.
I know you're about to search your cell?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to search it and then walk us through what's going through your
If
head
Tommy didn't have a wife, he would be on that.
as you're searching?
Sure. So
Just
I
kidding.
start from the top all the way
You're already
here. So I'm gonna,
How long you been doing?
you know what? Just
It looks like a very
Wait, what was it?
this is just the wrapper, but sometimes they put like the Suboxone strips in here, but nothing's in here.
Which drug would you say causes you the most trouble nowadays?
Probably the drug soaked paper.
It looks like a very uncomfortable drug to do.
It's actually kind of scary. The way they look when they're on that doesn't look like it's enjoyable.
What do we have here? What are we looking for?
Try it.
Well, we search everything, so this was tied on the door, but like this they can't keep. It's like a handmade bag, so it's considered contraband because they do get a shower bag already. They hide stuff in here a lot. I found Suboxone a few times, so
She's
I
hoping to
always
find
open
some. A camera.
their mineral cream.
So you're the tester?
I'll do the testing and write down exactly what was found, like the contraband they're not supposed to
She's not touching my butt. That girl. If I got it on me, stay away.
have. But if they bring suspected paper, this one's for synthetic cannabinoids, but we also have other tests. So we have the multi, could be fentanyl, heroin, cocaine, meth, MDMA, or we have the opioids test. But you basically just rub on the paper that you think is suspect narcotics. Once you rub it on the paper, there's like 2 vials in the test kit.
Yeah, it's positive. It's positive, this one.
So this one, like, didn't show anything. So it's not, if it's actually something,
maybe
it's gonna
'cause it
look
was a fucking piece of paper.
like this one here.
No, this is nothing.
Like you can see the different discoloration, and it shows brown would be the cannabinoid. So this
Shows
is
shit
hooch.
brown.
This is jail-made alcohol. The start of it. You can see there's a little bit of the juice, but they put a lot of different things. Like one time I found one with corn in it.
Yeah.
Whatever starts it from like the yeast or whatever, that's what they wanted to make that alcohol.
And can you describe the scent?
It's crazy because it actually smells like alcohol, but it also smells really bad.
If someone is caught smoking a strip, do they get extra time added to their sentence?
Absolutely.
So we will charge them an additional crime. So anybody that is in possession of the saturated paper, depending on the schedule of narcotic that it comes back from the lab being, a lot of times it's a class 1 felony.
What is a hit on a paper strip run for in these jails?
So depending on the potency, we've seen it up to $10,000 for an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So they will cut those up into little $25 strips.
And that's where the overdose comes in, is it's hard to judge the potency until you've tried it.
Right. Yeah, and each guy is trying to outdo the other guy.
What can a successful paper strip dealer stand to make in a month, you think?
In our one case that we had, the guy was bringing in, I don't know, so it's hard to tell because he was distributing it throughout the country. So it wasn't just here that he was doing it, but he was bringing in, I would say, over $100,000 a month.
Does it blow your mind to see people return again and again and again to conditions like this?
Yeah, our system is broken. Prior to this, I worked at IDOC as well, at Stateville Penitentiary.
What are the differences that you've noticed working both jail
You
and
might
prison?
get fired for saying that. DA's gonna say, "What'd you say? Our system's broken."
Prison, you got guys with guns watching you. Unlike here, it's more, it's more controlled. You be walking the line of guys and you got guys with guns on top watching you, making sure nothing happens to you and or anyone else. So.
What is it like being lied to so frequently?
It's hard because when you want to help someone, you really don't know if they're telling the truth or not, or they're just trying to spin you to gain whatever it is that they're trying to achieve.
Now that you've witnessed a raid reveal weapons and drugs, let's take you to the basement of Cook County Jail where much of the battle against smuggling is fought. Tell me about your role in this operation.
What we do is we search the mail as it comes in. They go through all the mail.
Damn, you see that shine? He's shining right now.
But they do not open anything. They just separate it per division. Then we go over and take all the mail and bring it back over here. And we will open it by hand and we will search everything.
Here they have a mailroom and drug detection laboratory where specialized officers hand search through the packages, letters, and books that come in, and they use infrared scanner technology to hunt for the invisible paper spray drugs. If you were to guess, like what are the different things we're looking at here?
Our first instinct when we look at a book, it's all starting to fade here and getting all watered.
And so there's sophisticated communication going on where they know, hey, look for pages 152 and 171,
Correct.
And that's my drug.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
So the vast majority of the book could be innocent, but 3 pages are what?
Active as a director for the past 8 years.
How do you solve the strip problem?
Eliminate any mail coming in here and just make it all electronic.
What do you think motivates these guys to take the strips?
You know, I wish I had an answer for that. What makes them want to do it? Chasing the high? I don't know.
Currently within these jail walls, which is more dangerous? Gang violence or the paper strips?
I would say that the paper strips.
Folks, that was a look into Cook County's drug smuggling epidemic. Thank you to Tom Dart and his team for letting us in. And
Tommy G, that was a good video. Definitely. I'm gonna watch your boot camp one too. So, see you guys in the next video.